So that was season 4, episode 14 of The Flash, and it was an awesome welcome back episode because I forget we've been off the air for 2 weeks. But anyway, to recap the episode, police problems with Barry. The police, pretty much everybody in CCPD has immediately, whenever Barry came in, looked at him weird, and it's just a lot of animosity because people still think that he killed DeVoe. Thought that he killed DeVoe, and some even think that Clifford DeVoe is not actually Clifford DeVoe, which is true, but it's so weird that all the conspiracy theorists out there are actually right. So Barry was let go in a sense. He's on leave right now, but that normally means that you're not going to come back anytime soon. We also got introduced to a new meta, Izzy Bowen, who is a country artist, and I'm agreeing with Ralph at the beginning of the episode. I don't really like country myself. It's just not my thing. But when she was playing at that bar, I really liked her music, so maybe I have like a little bit of a liking towards country. But anyway, we quickly found out that Izzy is very powerful. She controls sound waves and everything like that. It pierced Barry's ears and it stretched Ralph's as much as it can go. We also saw Becky Sharp, one of my absolute favorite characters, new characters of this season, as DeVoe. DeVoe keeps going into different bodies, and the more bodies he goes into, it seems like the quicker rate he deteriorates. And I wonder how long we're gonna have Izzy's body. I didn't want to jump to that, but the fact that we only had Becky for about an episode and a half seems kind of telling that we might only have Izzy for an episode, you know what I mean, next week. I'm just wondering how many more bodies he can go through and how many more times will we see a different person play DeVoe. That's just interesting to me. We also have Cecile. We had a little B storyline with Cecile and Harry's back this week, my favorite. Cecile can't sleep because she can hear Joe's dreams, which I get would be annoying because I have weird dreams too, and if someone were to be able to hear all of that, it would just be a lot of chaos in their mind. So Cecile was talking to Harry about her problems, and Harry was like, well, I can fix that, and of course Harry can fix that. He's smart, no matter what he might think compared to DeVoe. There was also a street battle with DeVoe, and DeVoe outsmarted Barry, Barry, Ralph, and Cisco very quickly because he used Cisco, did a vibe at Ralph, and then Ralph wrapped himself around Barry. But we saw for the first time DeVoe kind of take a step back because Izzy used her powers against DeVoe, and it affected him greatly. It was crazy, and Barry kind of saw that, and his mind instantly went to, we need to train this person immediately, we need to do all this stuff, and it led to technically Ralph, Barry, Ralph, and Cisco, and pretty much everybody in the Star Labs team to reveal themselves to Izzy. And it's kind of like at this point, Barry's just so flippant with his identity. It's kind of just like, okay, we need to get this over with, let's train. You know what I mean? And I don't know if I like that. I don't know if I hate that. I think that it's very telling how much Barry is willing to share his identity, the fact that he just wants to get DeVoe. And even the training session, Barry was just going very, very hard on Izzy, like more so than usual. It's just because he's so ready to be done with DeVoe, to defeat DeVoe, because he saw all of his, I wouldn't say friends, but all of the other bus metas get sucked the light off of. And he liked Becky. You know, everybody liked Becky. I don't think anybody had a problem with Becky, and he wasn't able to save her. When normally he's a speedster and he would be able to, it's just in that moment he couldn't, which sucks. We also had Ralph give an inspirational talk to Izzy, and that kind of formed a bond between them, which I really liked. We also had some animosity. There's been animosity between DeVoe and Marlise for a while now, but DeVoe was yelling at Marlise, and Marlise was like, I'm sorry, you know, all this stuff, and I just feel so bad for Marlise. I don't even care that she manipulated the whole trial thing, whenever the trial of the Barry Allen was going on. It's just the fact that she's having to deal with this, and it's so interesting because they can't necessarily live without each other, because we saw that last episode whenever Clifford used the tears from the One Weeper guy on Marlise, and Marlise doesn't want to lose DeVoe either, you know what I mean? It's just interesting, and I think the more DeVoe's mind gets trapped with power, the more he's going to separate from his wife, and he needs to start realizing that if he wants to keep that connection and keep Marliese by his side, because I have a feeling Marliese is going to be like, screw you, I'm going to help destroy you, or, you know, get rid of you, or something like that. We also had the cerebral inhibitor, which was known to us last season whenever Savitar came in, because he mentioned it, and Harry is the one that created it. And the thing that's interesting is I kind of assumed that was going to be our end game goal. You know what I mean? That was going to be episode 20 or something like that. We'll finally have the cerebral inhibitor and everything will be okay. But the fact that we got it this episode and we saw it used on DeVoe for like a half a second, and then Kilgore, that power that Kilgore has, basically fried it. And it led Harry to just down himself. And I hate whenever Harry downs himself, because he's such an egotistical person and he's so smart. He's probably the smartest on the team. Sorry, Cisco. But he is so smart and he feels so inadequate against DeVoe, and I just feel bad for him. Also, he's my favorite character, so you know. But anyway, we also had a quick moment that I really liked whenever Cisco was vibing in to see wherever Izzy went, whenever she effed off, you know, and at Ralph to go to face DeVoe by herself, and Cisco was vibing into that, and DeVoe turned around, looked at Cisco, and was like, this isn't for you, and forced him out of it, which is crazy to me that he can do that, and he's just so powerful. We also lost Izzy this episode she was introduced and then she got she's technically dead. She is DeVoe now. And the whole scene whenever Ralph was like, look at me, I just felt so bad for him. I felt bad for Izzy. Man, you could tell that they were gonna have a bond, and they were kind of like, you know, little bit of that, and it was just really sad. Anyway, one good thing came out of this. The way that we see Marliese and DeVoe teleport, Cisco came up with a pocket dimension, that their lair, because we didn't see it in their house, you know what I mean? I just assumed that the lair is deep underneath their house, but that doesn't really make any sense, because Barry would have been able to find that while searching the house like way earlier in the season. So the fact that it's in a pocket dimension is very cool. Like, I'm excited to see where that leads. We also had Harry talking to Cecile at the end. Basically, Harry's kind of hung up on Jesse right now, and I don't know what happened between, no one knows what happened between Jesse and Harry. He's been very vague. I mean, Harry's a vague character, but he's very vague about everything, and Cecile can read minds, so she's able to see what Harry is truly thinking, and Harry wants to call Jesse, and that leads me to believe that we'll maybe see Jesse next episode. I don't know, but maybe we'll finally have Harry not down himself as much as he's been doing for the past couple episodes whenever he reconnects with Jesse. Also, this really cool after credit scene whenever Ralph was kind of in his office and he was listening to Izzy's music, and Barry kind of came in and was trying to talk to him, buddy system, all this stuff, and Ralph made Barry a PI, private investigator, and they're partners now, which is so cool because I really like their friendship. I'm scared though, because it's like they introduce new characters pretty much every season of The Flash so far, and each time those characters either turn out to be bad, or they die, or they leave. So I'm really scared for Ralph because I like him. I like him as a character. He brings a lot of humor, but the actor is also really good at being serious. Like that whole episode with him and Izzy was really, really cool to see. Now I'm going to move on to my likes of the episode. I really liked Becky. I mean, I have a soft spot for Becky, even though it was DeVoe. Something about this big menacing person, this big menacing brain in this small little cute person, Becky, you know, it was just so like lovely and horrible to see. I also like Ralph's basically calling out the bullshit inspirational talks, like, oh, I'm gonna go out in the hallway, give this inspirational talk, and I can get her to stay. I like how the Flash writers make fun of themselves sometimes, because it's more like, oh, we're gonna go out in the hall and have a talk now, you know, all this stuff, and like with the whole arrow, like, can we have the room and all this stuff, like very aware of what they're doing. I also liked Ralph and Izzy this episode, but that kind of ended poorly. My dislikes of the episode, I mean, I didn't really have any problem with I don't really have any problems with this episode in general. DeVoe yelling at Marlise, I didn't like. The thing that's interesting is, it kind of relates to my next topic, is maybe I have to go back and watch that origin story with Marlise and DeVoe. It just seems, and maybe, you know, because obviously time has passed and DeVoe has changed a lot, and it seems like even Marlise was like, maybe there's something wrong, you know, there's something wrong. It just seems like DeVoe was just continuously downing and yelling at Marlise, and it didn't seem like their relationship was like that whenever we saw their origin story. But at the same time, a lot has happened, and we don't know their end plan. We don't know their end goal. So maybe something has happened to DeVoe. Maybe he's getting corrupted with powers, and that's why he's letting all this anger out on Marlise. But yeah, that's that. And then my other, it's not really a dislike. I think I like it and I dislike it. The fact that we're getting so many different actors and actresses playing DeVoe is interesting, because normally with The Flash, we have this wait, this big bad villain, wait till we know who it is, and then we get revealed within the final, like, 5 episodes of the show, and then we deal with it, you know what I mean? But this season, we knew who the villain was right away, and we're seeing all these different players play DeVoe. I mean, I'm obviously partial to Neil, whatever his last name is, who played DeVoe originally, because I just felt like he did an amazing job, and I hope he comes back. Because we already, I mean, I didn't think he was going to come back whenever he, like, died, but the fact that we have him with Ralph, I just assumed that he might come back, which I'm hoping for. But I like the fact that they're giving different actors and actresses a chance to play the big bad of season 4 of Flash. So that's pretty cool. Normally this time I would have, like, theories or anything like that. I don't know, you know, I mean, I assume that Jesse's going to be back next week. I don't know about that. I assume that we're going to maybe visit a pocket dimension, you know, that whole thing. And will that pocket dimension be different from our world now? I don't really know how pocket dimensions work, but will there be, like, will be an Earth 2 or an Earth 19 situation where it's different people? You know what I mean? Like, it's different, like, versions of each other. I don't know, but I'm excited to find out. But we have to wait a week, because TV shows. Okay everyone, thank you for watching. If you want to see my previous reaction / review, all you have to do is click the link in the description, and as always, I will see you next time.